Not in a million years will I walk away after this.
You're not finished.
No way. But what I'm going to do to him is going to be that bad of a beating on Saturday night, he ain't going to want to have a trilogy.
Tyson Fury isn't backing down from his rivalry with Oleksandr Usyk. In fact, he's demanding a third fight. Fury feels like he was robbed in both of their previous matchups and insists that Usyk didn't win fair and square. If Usyk had truly beaten him cleanly, Fury says he would have had no problem walking away. But since that's not how he sees it, he's ready for round 3. Fury even warns that the next fight will be so intense that Usyk won't want any part of a trilogy after he's done with him. The stage is set, and Fury is fired up to settle the score once and for all. Tyson Fury says that if the fights with Oleksandr Usyk had been fair, he would have accepted his loss with no problem. But because he believes he's been robbed in both of their previous matchups, he's convinced that a trilogy is the only way to make things right. Fury insists that every great rivalry deserves a third fight, and he's determined to get the win he feels he deserves. However, many boxing fans find it hard to agree with him. They feel that Fury's claims of being cheated don't quite hold up, and it's tough to see why he should get another shot at Usyk. Still, Fury's confidence remains high, and he's not backing down from his demand for a rematch. The question now is, will fans buy into his reasoning, or will they see it as just another excuse for another fight? Only time will tell. Should Usyk give Fury the chance for a trilogy? Some argue that by doing so, Fury might only be setting himself up for a third loss to the same opponent, which wouldn't help his boxing record. The idea of a third fight was first brought up before their last match, when many boxing fans and experts believed Fury's drive for revenge would lead him to a dominant win over Usyk. But now, with the outcome in the books, it's clear that didn't happen. So the real question is, if they do meet again, could Fury finally come out on top, or is it just another opportunity for Usyk to prove himself once again? A lot of people are wondering if it's worth it, or if it's simply going to be more of the same. The fight didn't turn out much differently from their previous one, and in some ways it didn't meet the hype. Before the match, Tyson Fury, Frank Warren, and many boxing fans were eagerly anticipating the possibility of a third showdown. Everyone was hoping that a Fury victory would bring that trilogy to life. In an interview with Boxing King Media, the Manchester fighter stressed how focused he was and how driven he felt by a deep sense of revenge. When asked about his mindset going into the fight, Fury was clear about his determination and the importance of this match for him. Tyson Fury, now 36, is making it clear that he'd love a third fight with Oleksandr Usyk, but there's a catch: he has to win the upcoming rematch first. Fury confidently declared, "When I win this one, then yes, for sure," and even told Usyk, "Run, rabbit, run." He's confident that if he comes out on top, the trilogy will happen. While their first fight had a two-way rematch clause, Fury made it clear that this time around, there's no such clause. The third fight will only happen if he wins at the Kingdom Arena in their next showdown. So, the big question is, can Fury claim victory and set up the trilogy, or will Usyk prove him wrong once again? The stage is set, and all eyes will be on that rematch. This time, the chance of a third fight hinges on whether Fury can get his revenge. If he succeeds, the demand for a trilogy will only grow stronger. Frank Warren, Fury's promoter, has said that if Usyk wins, he would be ready to set up a third bout, but if Usyk comes out on top, Fury might move on to other things. One possibility is an undisputed title fight against someone like Daniel Dubois or Joseph Parker. When asked about the idea of a third fight, Fury responded confidently, saying, "If I win, I'll finish it in 3 rounds. I swear the rematch is full of potential, and the outcome will determine what comes next." Frank Warren's comments about Fury's next steps make it clear that the fighter's immediate focus is on Usyk, not Joshua. I don't know, it's up to him. If he's got the ambition to come back and do it, then he'll do it. He's a grown man, he needs to make his own decisions. Fury said when asked about Joshua's future, "This statement leaves the ball firmly in Joshua's court, forcing him to make the necessary adjustments in his career to ensure that he can once again compete with the elite fighters in the division." The current landscape of the heavyweight division is filled with intrigue, drama, and endless speculation, particularly when it comes to the looming possibility of a fight between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. This long-awaited clash has captivated fans for years, but as with many major matchups in boxing, timing and circumstances often play a pivotal role in whether such a fight comes to fruition. Recently, Frank Warren, Fury's promoter, was asked about what's next for his fighter, particularly in the context of the possibility of a rematch with Oleksandr Usyk or a showdown with Joshua at Wembley. Warren kept his response simple and to the point, focusing on the immediate challenge at hand rather than looking too far ahead. "Let's focus on the Usyk fight first and see where we go from there," he said, suggesting that Fury's attention is fully set on his upcoming bout with the Ukrainian champion. This answer, though clear, only added fuel to the fire of speculation surrounding Fury's future. Fans, analysts, and boxing enthusiasts have been eagerly awaiting a Fury vs. Joshua fight, one of the most anticipated bouts in British boxing history. But as the dust settles on the Fury-Usyk fight, the question remains, will the fight between Fury and Joshua ever materialize, or will it remain a dream for fans? One of the key elements in this ongoing saga is the fact that both Fury and Joshua are currently on separate paths. Tyson Fury, the self-proclaimed Gypsy King, has been largely focused on consolidating his status as the best heavyweight of his era, particularly through his dominance over Deontay Wilder. His recent performances against Wilder and his upcoming bout with Usyk have further cemented his place at the top of the heavyweight division. However, despite being widely considered the favorite in any potential matchup with Joshua, Fury's recent statement suggests that his focus is firmly on Usyk. When asked about the prospect of fighting Joshua, Fury didn't shy away from addressing the current state of his rival's career. In an interview with Al Arabiya, Fury was blunt, saying Joshua's in a tough spot right now. He's got to rebuild after his last fight. The comment was a pointed reference to Joshua's loss to Oleksandr Usyk in their rematch earlier in 2022, which significantly impacted Joshua's standing in the division. After 2 defeats to Usyk, Joshua has found himself in a difficult position, facing questions about his future and whether he can recapture his former glory. Fury's statement also underscored the stark contrast between their respective career trajectories. While Joshua is in the midst of rebuilding after a significant defeat, Fury is preparing to face Usyk in what would be a high-stakes trilogy. Fury's comments suggest that he has little interest in taking on Joshua until the latter proves that he can once again be a legitimate force in the heavyweight division. The upcoming Usyk fight, both this Saturday and the one after, would be perfect for me, Fury added, indicating that his primary focus is the Ukrainian champion. Despite Fury's apparent disregard for a potential fight with Joshua, Anthony Joshua himself has made it clear that he is eager for the opportunity to face Fury in the ring. Joshua has publicly stated his desire to take on Fury in a career-defining bout, acknowledging that a fight against the Gypsy King would be the pinnacle of his own journey. The idea of such a fight still stirs excitement among boxing fans, many of whom are eager to see 2 of Britain's biggest names square off. However, with Fury's current focus on Usyk and Joshua's need to rebuild, it seems that the matchup is not on the immediate horizon. For Joshua, the road to a fight with Fury is fraught with challenges. He is still reeling from his loss to Usyk, and the prospect of rebuilding his career after 2 defeats to the Ukrainian is a daunting task. Joshua has been vocal about his determination to fight his way back into the top ranks, but it is clear that much will depend on the outcome of his future bouts. A win over a top contender would go a long way in re-establishing his credibility, but with Fury continuing to focus on Usyk, the clock is ticking for Joshua. Oleksandr Usyk's recent victory has not only reaffirmed his position as one of the top heavyweights in the world, but has also sparked a renewed sense of competition in the division, particularly with Daniel Dubois seeking a rematch. Usyk, who defeated Dubois in a dramatic 9th-round knockout during their 2023 fight in Poland, has made it clear that he is open to revisiting their bout despite the controversy surrounding their first encounter. Dubois' challenge to Usyk, both in the ring and post-fight, has reignited the question of whether a rematch is truly warranted or if it's just another instance of a fighter looking for redemption after a difficult loss. In the end, the future of a Fury-Joshua fight is uncertain, and much will depend on how both fighters perform in their respective upcoming bouts. If Fury can defeat Usyk in their trilogy, he will further solidify his place as the best heavyweight of his generation. However, should Joshua prove himself in his next fights, the opportunity for a massive showdown between the 2 Britons will likely become too big to ignore. Ultimately, the decision rests with both fighters. Joshua's road to redemption is paved with difficult obstacles, and if he can overcome them, a fight with Fury could be in the cards. But for now, Tyson Fury's focus remains on Usyk, and the boxing world will have to wait and see whether a fight between these 2 giants of British boxing will ever come to pass. Tyson Fury is no stranger to trilogies, having faced Deontay Wilder in a memorable series of fights, but until Oleksandr Usyk came along, Fury had never tasted defeat. After securing Usyk
a
changed that
unanimous
in May
decision
and
win
again
over
on
Tyson
December
Fury
21st.
in their highly
It's hard
anticipated
to
rematch,
understand why
Oleksandr
Usyk would
Usyk
agree to a
successfully
third
defended
fight
his
considering
heavyweight
he
titles
has
with a
more to
1-1-6-1-1-2
Fury already lost his
scorecard in
undefeated
Riyadh.
record to Usyk,
Daniel
and with 2
Dubois
wins in the bag,
proclaimed
Usyk
the
is clearly
IBF
ahead.
title
So
in
no matter
June
what
by
happens in the
defeating
third
Philip
match,
H.
Usyk
Govic
will
was
still
in the
hold
crowd
out
at the
Kingdom
Kingdom
At this
Arena
point,
in
the only
Saudi
thing on the
Arabia.
line for Usyk
As he grabbed the
is
mic,
his
Dubois
unbeaten
declared,
record
"I want
and
my
risking that
revenge,
might
I
not
want
be
my
the best
revenge, I
decision.
want my revenge." He congratulated Usyk, saying, "Well done tonight, well done, God bless," but quickly added, "I want my revenge for the robbery last time." It was clear Dubois was eager for his own opportunity to face Usyk. "Let's make it happen. Where's Frank? Let's go," Daniel Dubois eagerly called out after the fight, clearly ready for a rematch with Usyk. The 2 had faced off in August 2023 in Poland, where Usyk won by stopping Dubois in the 9th round of a grueling fight. One of the most dramatic moments came in the 5th round when Dubois landed a punch on Usyk's belt line, knocking him down. The shot was ruled a low blow, and Usyk was given 4 minutes to recover. Using his experience and grit, Usyk came back strong, eventually wearing down Dubois to claim victory. When asked about fighting Dubois again, Usyk simply said, "Yeah, no problem. I'm ready for the next fight." I just want to go home, get some rest, and then I'll be ready, Usyk said, showing he's eager to keep moving forward. He added, Your Excellency, make the fight with Daniel Dubois happen. Before Dubois interrupted, Usyk was asked about the judges' scorecard from his rematch with Fury, which he won 1-1-6-1-1-2. Usyk responded, Well done tonight, God bless, but I want my revenge for the robbery last time. Let's go, let's make it happen. When I win, it's all good. As for the scorecard, Usyk explained, I'm not a judge, I'm an athlete. That's not my job to figure out. I won, and I'm thankful. When asked how he keeps improving, Usyk emphasized his constant dedication to the sport. At the center of it all remains Usyk, a fighter who continues to rise above the drama and focus on his goals. His ability to stay grounded and dedicated to his craft, while also embracing the role of ambassador for his country and for mothers everywhere, sets him apart in the modern era of boxing. As for the rematch with Dubois, only time will tell whether it will materialize. But one thing is certain, Usyk's reign at the top of the heavyweight division remains unshaken, and any challenger will have to bring their absolute best if they hope to dethrone him. As he nears his 38th birthday, Usyk lightheartedly joked, I don't know, maybe I'm just training well. My wife has been a huge help. It's a really happy day for me, especially since my sons also won their judo competitions. My son told me, Papa, you're next. I said, all right. I'll give it my best. When talking about Fury, who didn't stick around for an interview after the fight, Usyk said, He's a great fighter and a tough opponent. Those 24 rounds with him have been incredible for my career. Thank you so much. Speaking in Ukrainian, Usyk added, I want to dedicate this victory. After his win, Usyk dedicated the victory to his mother, a deeply emotional gesture that highlighted his personal motivations for fighting. She worries about me all the time, and I want to thank her for everything she's done for me, Usyk said in his post-fight comments. This heartfelt tribute not only shed light on Usyk's emotional resilience, but also reflected the pride he carries in representing his family and his home country of Ukraine. His words, this win is for my mother and for all the mothers in Ukraine, further emphasized the significance of his achievements within the context of the ongoing war in Ukraine, which has added a layer of national pride and personal stakes to every fight Usyk participates in. Despite the emotional weight of the victory, the drama didn't end there. As Usyk spoke about his triumph, he made a pointed call out to Frank Warren, urging him to make the fight with Daniel Dubois happen. This declaration came after a year of back and forth between the two fighters following their 2023 showdown, which was marred by Dubois' controversial low blow in the 5th round. Dubois, who had landed a shot that seemed to hit Usyk below the belt, was penalized by the referee, allowing Usyk a brief recovery period. Usyk used this time wisely, eventually knocking Dubois out in the 9th round, but the low blow was a major talking point in the aftermath. Dubois felt aggrieved by the decision, arguing that the penalty was unjust and claiming that the blow was not as low as it was perceived. Dubois' frustration reached a boiling point after Usyk's latest victory, and during the post-fight interview, he interrupted Usyk to make his desire for a rematch known. In a bold move, Dubois declared, I want my revenge, demanding a chance to redeem himself. This act of defiance clearly resonated with his fans, many of whom believed that the first fight had been unfairly decided. However, Usyk, while acknowledging the call-out, didn't appear to be rattled. He remained calm and collected, reaffirming his position as the superior fighter while expressing an openness to the idea of a rematch, should the circumstances be right. Frank Warren, who promotes both Dubois and Usyk, weighed in on the matter shortly after the call-out. Sharing his thoughts on his YouTube channel, Warren acknowledged Dubois' desire for a rematch, but suggested that the timing of the call-out was not ideal. What do you think? It's my time now, time to pass on the crown. If you want it, come take it, Warren remarked, implying that Dubois' challenge was somewhat premature, given Usyk's current dominance in the division. He added, Dubois jumped in and called for a rematch, but I'm pretty sure he was told by his promoter, Bricktop, to do that just to make some noise. Warren's comments hinted at the notion that Dubois' sudden reappearance in the spotlight was less about genuine competition and more about creating buzz in a division that has seen little movement in recent months. Warren's perspective also took a somewhat critical stance on Usyk, suggesting that the Ukrainian fighter might be past his prime. I think Usyk might be past his best, to be honest, he said, pointing out that Usyk is 2 years older than Fury. Can he bounce back? I'm not sure if I'd want to see him try again. These remarks, though perhaps meant to provoke discussion, also shed light on a growing concern among some boxing pundits regarding Usyk's age and his ability to keep up with younger, more physically imposing challengers in the heavyweight division. While Usyk's skills and ring intelligence have earned him widespread respect, there are lingering questions about how much longer he can remain at the top of the division, especially as other heavyweights like Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua continue to dominate the headlines. For his part, Usyk's team has shown no signs of backing down from the challenge. They remain focused on continuing to solidify his position as one of the best heavyweights in the world. Usyk's open-mindedness toward the idea of a rematch with Dubois shows that he is not just content with his current achievements but is willing to prove himself against those who feel they were wronged. Usyk's willingness to take on all comers, regardless of past controversies, demonstrates the champion's mindset and his desire to leave no doubt about his legacy in the heavyweight division. Meanwhile, Dubois, still smarting from his loss, is likely to keep pushing for the opportunity to avenge his defeat. The 27-year-old's eagerness for a rematch is understandable. Losing to Usyk, especially under the circumstances of the low blow, has left him with a bitter taste and a belief that the first fight didn't truly reflect his potential. While he may have been urged by his promoter to create a stir, it's clear that Dubois has personal ambitions tied to a rematch with Usyk. Whether or not he will get that chance depends largely on how the upcoming fights unfold in the heavyweight landscape. When discussing the fight, Klitschko had no hesitation in declaring Usyk the true champion, emphasizing that there was no question about his victory. Usyk dominated from the start, constantly keeping Fury on the defensive. Klitschko also predicted that if Anthony Joshua and Fury meet in 2025, Joshua would come out on top. Lennox Lewis, however, offered a more measured take on the potential UK showdown, acknowledging that styles make fights. As for Usyk vs Fury 2, Lewis admitted, "I preferred the first fight, though this one was still very good, just a bit different." During his interview, Usyk was sharing his thoughts when Daniel Dubois suddenly jumped into the ring. "I understand it's part of the game, trying to hype up the next fight, but I didn't like the way it went down." Usyk had just put in a tough performance and he deserved a moment to catch his breath. Dubois jumped in and said, "Let's make this fight happen, but I honestly think his promoter, Bricktop, probably told him to do it just to create some buzz." I wasn't a fan of how it happened because Usyk was exhausted and just wanted to finish his interview. Then, Daniel Dubois jumped into the ring, but I get it, he's just doing his part to hype up the next fight. Still, Usyk had just gone through a tough battle, was exhausted, and marked up. Now, he's being asked if he'd face Dubois again. But Usyk didn't hesitate. He was clear and said, "Let's make this fight happen." He wasn't backing down. As for the potential rematch, Frank Warren pointed out that Usyk would need to fully commit and focus if they were to meet again. Given how quickly Daniel Dubois is rising through the ranks, the Cobra shared his thoughts, saying, "I wouldn't want to see Usyk get in the ring with Dubois unless he's fully prepared for it. Dubois is young, strong, and a heavy hitter. He's in great form right now, although Dubois has Joseph Parker next. If Usyk decides to fight again, that's the match to make. It's the one fans will be eager to see. But honestly, I think Usyk should just take some time to enjoy his win. He worked hard, and he looked tired after that fight. He deserves a break." Usyk was visibly marked from the fight, but he stood firm, confidently calling for the next challenge. He said, "Let's make it happen," showing no hesitation. As for Frank Warren, he praised Fury for his performance, acknowledging the strength of his opponent, Tyson Fury. Warren congratulated Usyk on another impressive victory, emphasizing that back-to-back wins against a fighter of Fury's caliber is no easy achievement. He added, "Fury will be absolutely gutted after this one because this loss is a tough pill for him to swallow." That's now 2 consecutive losses for Tyson Fury, both to Oleksandr Usyk. It's unclear where Fury goes from here, but for now, I can say we witnessed an incredible fight. Both fighters showed tremendous heart, but Usyk delivered a truly dominant performance that left little room for argument about the winner. Boxing legends Lennox Lewis and Vladimir Klitschko had differing opinions on what unfolded between Usyk and Fury in Riyadh on Saturday night. Meanwhile, Daniel Dubois is still pushing for his chance to step into the ring. They always want to see it, and now is the time to make that fight happen. But let's wait and see what Tyson Fury decides to do next. There's no need to rush. As for the other fighters on the card tonight, like Ishmael Davis, who stepped in on short notice against Siri B, you could really see the difference in skill levels between a true world-class fighter and the rest. After his loss to Usyk, Fury didn't immediately say if he would continue his career. He lost by unanimous decision in Riyadh, with all 3 judges giving the victory to Usyk, the WBA, WBC, and WBO champion. Score of 116-112, the 36-year-old said who knows when pushed on whether he will continue, adding he will make a decision next year, having taken some time off following another grueling showdown with the remarkable Usyk, while his dream of becoming the heavyweight division's undisputed king is dead. After successive losses to the Ukrainian master, the chance to claim domestic bragging rights over British rival Joshua is being angled in front of him. Fury felt he had won and bitterly disputed the decision, while his promoter Frank Warren said he was dumbfounded by the scoring in the rematch at Kingdom Arena. "Show some respect. Come on, guys, come on." Yeah, so obviously you dictating the which I thought you did to win in 7 rounds the forward. Despite conceding 4 stones and 6 in height, Usyk set the pace for the bulk of the contest. Showing greater skill and landing more and bigger shots with greater accuracy, Fury was outstanding as the rivals produced another classic, albeit more of a chess match than May's dramatic first encounter and the rounds. We're desperately close, 4 rounds up. A lot of people add me, at least 2. I just don't know. Listen, it is what it is. I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. It's happened now. I know boxing been in it all me life. You can't change no decisions, but I'll just always feel a little bit hard done. By not a little bit, actually a lot. But I think when you don't get the knockout, this is what happens. You can't guarantee, but the Gypsy King's output visibly decreased in the second half of the fight, with Usyk's left hand the most potent weapon of the night. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.